I'm starting to think that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant doesn't really understand how prenups actually work. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, for one more clip out of this Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Shannon Sharpe interview. Now, Shannon Sharpe poses the question to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant about prenups. Now, before we get into the clip, I want you to understand, gentlemen, prenups are to protect you from getting the 50-50 split that most women will try to shame you into. You know, you ask for a prenup, they're like, oh, well, you don't trust me, or you don't love me, or you're planning for this to break up already, and things like that.
What happened? Where did all the men go?
Make no mistake, this is to protect you, gentlemen. And also, don't think that just because you're not making a ton of money now that you won't later, because this is another shaming thing that a woman will say, well, you're not making no money now, why do you even need a prenup? You hear people like Dr. Dave Ramsey and people like that. You hear people like them shame men into getting prenups, all right? And women shame men all the time. You also hear your Derek Jacksons of the world, your Yada Awakenings of the world. These men try to shame you into not getting a prenup because they're going to tell you that you owe this woman, your spouse, everything. And I'm here to tell you, gentlemen, that that is definitely, absolutely not the case.
Enemy spotted.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is going to say that she's not going to sign a prenup, but she'll have one drafted up. Okay? And you can tell by the way she's talking that she wants this to be more beneficial for her. Of course, you know, your favorite YouTuber says the divorce is planned before the wedding and things like that. It is absolutely, all right? So let's get into this clip from Shannon Sharpe. This is on YouTube. I got to give my fair use clause, as I always do, for commentary and criticism purposes. For all of you style pausing the video ninjas and yada yada, a link will be in the description box. You can watch this without my commentary or interruption or pausing.
Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Without further ado, fair use.
You good with a prenup?
Me giving it or me signing it?
Both. You got assets you want to protect.
I'm not signing a prenup.
You not?
No. Now, will I have one drafted? Maybe.
Enemy spotted.
So you won't sign a prenup, but you'll have one drafted. You see this, gentleman? This woman at what? Late 40s, mid 50s, maybe. The age varies. The people told me different ages. But in any case, she says that she will not sign one. Again, this shows that she doesn't trust the man that she's going to be, if she's eventually going to marry. But she'll have one drafted. And I'm sure the one that she'll have drafted will be very beneficial to her and not to the brother or other race of man that she is going to tie the knot with.
Not signing one.
Why?
Well, why would I?
I mean, I just think, look, even before I used to tell my homeboys, I say, y'all got a prenup. They say, Sharpe, we ain't got nothing. Mm-hmm. I say, so when you leave, you keep all your nothing. You don't want half of your nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, look, I get it.
Now, to be fair, Shannon Sharpe sounds like he also does not understand how a prenup actually works. And because it's not that, okay, well, you leave what you came with. Now, that works in the movies, of course, but in real life, a woman's not going to sign a prenup. Well, for one, she's already adverse to signing it because she's going to think that you're going to leave her with nothing. And because she's going to stay with you and she's thinking long term, right? She knows that on the back end of this, if should it go sour, she's going to get something out of it. She's going to get a bag. So she's already adverse to hearing this anyway because she wants the 50-50 split. However, if you draw this up right and say, okay, well, you know, if we're together this long and we split, then you get this. If we're together this long, we split, you get this. We have this many kids, you get this, blah, blah. Now, don't get me wrong. Child support I don't believe can be decided in a prenup, but everything else property-wise, I believe it can. So, Shannon, that is not how prenups work. Well, you came what you left with. All right. It oftentimes does not work that cut and dry.
We get to a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got X.
Mm-hmm.
We get into this relationship and I get YZ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm cool with that. But you're not finna get X. I had X before I met you.
So a prenup that would be appropriate for me would be a prenup that lines out If I stepped out and performed infidelity, this is the amount that will be paid out. And it's not going to be pennies.
Okay.
If we were to divorce amicably, right, which I don't believe in that.
Right.
So I'm never leaving unless, like the Bible says, two things that are permissible to leave, which is infidelity and unfaithfulness.
Doctor. Enemy spotted. A lot of women say this, well, I'm not going to work. Please understand, ladies, if we want you gone, you're going to be gone. All right? It's 2025. Women can leave men at a drop of a hat. Do not think that just because, you say this, 100 times that this guy can't still leave you. All right? Now, you might not like it because, for whatever reason, no love, no money, children, finance, whatever. But if he wants to leave, he is going to leave. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop him, short of deleting him, which does happen. But, you're going to say, well, I want the prenup to be like this, but I'm not leaving it because of infidelity or blah, no abuse or whatever. But I mean, come on. Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, I'm not leaving. So we're going to work through everything
I thought
else.
death.
Well, death do your part, but you're still married in the covenant,
Oh, okay.
But so if the prenup said if we were to divorce, then like you said, right, there's X, Y, and Z. Okay, Doc, you get Y and Z, and maybe not X, but Y and Z is something that
We could split.
No. We're not. What do you mean splitting? No. I'm not splitting.
Hello.
I'm talking about on the prenup. You're gonna be lining out what exactly goes to me being your wife.
Right.
For sticking by your ass, submitting, loving, making love, not denying, and pouring into you because I'm going to give you everything I got.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant always makes herself out to be this magical woman that she's not going to give up. In the land of make-believe, that she's this woman that's going to give up everything, that's not going to deny you no vag. She's always gonna fix your meals. She's always gonna be attentive to you and all these other kind of things that a man would want in a woman. She's got like she's been through so much and she's so enlightened being a woman and her feminine energy that she's gonna give you all this stuff. So because of that, on the back end, if you decide to leave me, then I want X, Y, and then you take. And she thought, well, there's no split. I want this, this, and this. Doctor, do you understand how prenups work? Or actually you do because you're saying you're not going to sign it unless it has this stuff. So, okay. And again, never mind.
This whole table for you.
Everything?
Okay? Everything.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say no unless I don't have the bandwidth for it.
Okay.
Then it's just that I don't have the capacity.
Right.
What is bandwidth? Ladies, in the comments, let me know what that is, please.
That prenup, you're going to draw out if I cheat.
Right.
This is the amount that you get, and it's going to be a large ass amount so that my heartbreak don't also feel broken in my pockets. One.
And gentlemen, there you go. She wants the bag, and keeps talking about infidelity. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, what are you going to give up if you make a mistake? Because you keep talking about how the man is in. What are we going to get from you if one day you decide to not duck sick? What I'm gonna get it one day you decide not to make my favorite meatloaf? What am I gonna get it one day you forget to leave my slippers at the foot of the bed, all right? Or you forget to leave the toilet seat up so I can use the bathroom. What am I gonna get out of that, huh? I'm just saying, because boy, you going heavy on the brothers over here. Okay.
Two.
Okay.
If you got X, Y, and Z, it's gonna be lined out. That let's just say X is $20 million
Right.
of a property. I don't mind if you say, hey, then Doc gets 10 million of this one, and then of Z, Doc gonna get her 7 million. But it's gonna be lined out clear.
Well, she talking heavy numbers. Heavy. 10 million this and 7 million this, and man, who you gonna marry, the Sheik of Saudi Arabia or something? I mean, come on.
On what I'm agreeing to. There will be no prenup that says if we divorce, you get nothing. We don't marry. Okay. I'm not signing up for that.
Again, doctor, are you in the land? Are you in the land of make-believe? That if you leave, I get nothing. Again, prenups often do not work like that. Only in the movies and to some broad that don't know any better would sign something like that. And I'm just being fair to both sides. If you're a broad and you sign that, you're a dumbass too. So, I mean, you leave with nothing. That's probably how much your brand and your body's worth. Nothing if you sign up for something like that. And like I said before, what is the man going to get if you make a mistake? You're acting like you're completely infallible. You've been through the ringer. You're in your late middle ages right now, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Who said that you're not going to make a mistake somewhere along the line? You're not perfect. You know, I mean,
to me, a woman who would sign up for that, I just feel like it's not that she's in it for love. I feel like she's been misguided.
Okay.
And again, I had a father. So my dad would turn in his grave if I signed up for that. And he would turn in his grave if I didn't get a prenup.
Right.
So I would have a prenup that said, hey, baby, you know, this is my stuff. And I couldn't see a man who is a man's man like you said you are, like my father was, who would have a problem with signing a prenup with me that said, I built all this. This is mine. I just don't see a man's man wanting that from me or from a woman.
Right.
Per se. I just don't see that. I see now a different kind of man.
Right.
You know, maybe saying I want, but who? No, I wouldn't even marry that type of guy.
Okay. All right.
Nick, you're stupid.
All right. Now, yeah, it's clear that I don't think Cheyenne Bryant or Shannon Sharp understands how a prenup works. Right. There's no two prenups. There's one between the both of you that outlines details and assets and things for the both of you, and both of you have to agree to it from your own personal mind and from legal standpoints. Okay, it has to be agreed to on multiple fronts, and then it has to be signed by legal teams and somebody in the court of law believing things like that. I mean, you come on, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, all these degrees you said you have from, you know, the University of Phoenix and things like that, and you know, your local HBCU, and you're talking about, you know, prenups and, no, I'm not going to sign one that says nothing. Of course you wouldn't. And what makes you think that you, matter of fact, this is again the land of make believe. You think you're going to get a guy that's high powered in the pocket, that you're going to get tens and hundreds of millions of dollars on the back end if something happens. And you're also in your late 40s or 50s, right? So how much longer do you think your marriage would go, or should you get married here in the near future anyway? And you're also talking about having children. You've, I guess, frozen your eggs like Ebony K. Williams. We're going to get into that tomorrow because, yeah. But anyway, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, prenups, Shannon Sharp, more Bish Babble. And with that being said, thank you for attending another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and prenups. Shout out to Coffee Pod, because he talks about prenups all the time. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell to be out of the door. And I'll see you on the next video.